I don't know how many of y'all are up, if any of y'all are up. I can't control that. I got started late tonight. It is what it is. All I can do is what I can do. Try to shed the little light that I might have that might be helpful to others and beneficial to others, and instill some kind of strength in the people that seem to be broken. I don't know. I do not know. To be honest with you, I don't know what it's going to take. The problem with philosophy is this. Philosophy becomes the crutch for the weak and the cowardly. Philosophy becomes a crutch for the weak and the cowardly. And it becomes a means to not have to stand and deliver in the moments in your life when it's time to stand and deliver. Philosophy becomes the crutch for the weak and the cowardly. And we live in a day and age. What's going on, Brother Buki? We live in a day and age where people overtalk, overanalyze, and overview things in order to make excuses for sacrifice, for the lack of sacrifice and the lack of struggle. I never thought I would live to see a day, even though I read plenty of George Orwell. I've read A Brave New World. I've read, let me see what other books are in that sort of line. I've read Animal Farm, which is another George Orwell book. I've read all of these books, and I never thought I would live to see a day where the things that I read in those books would jump off the page and become a reality. And the things that I've read in those books have happened in this day and age. You have slaves of the system that I think know they're slaves of the system that will do anything they can to protect the system. Now, this is different than chattel slavery, because in chattel slavery, you had the illusion of universal oppression, because all those Africans knew at the time was they were in a new land. It's like being snatched out of your bed in the middle of the night and being taken to Mars. And when you get to Mars, your new life is a slave. That's a hard physical, psychological opposite of where you come from, which is Africa, land of freedom and, safari and tribalism and things of that nature. So with that being said, we live in a day and age where people support their own slavery. And when they get done wrong, not only do they support their own slavery, they begin to analyze the reasons why they were done wrong, and they rationalize being done wrong. I mean, and I'm not even saying this as a diss to nobody, because I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just keeping it real. Black people get all philosophical and get to talking about the way we should look at something that's being done wrong to us. That's some crazy shit. Like every night, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but this is some crazy shit. We will sit here and debate amongst one another how a person should react to their brother being killed. Okay, if you're dealing with a situation where you're in a country where everyone has always had equal rights, everything was equal under the law, everything was equal under the economical system, everything was equal under the educational system, and no one had been done wrong, and no one had been oppressed, enslaved, then I get all these philosophical ideas. I get all of these ideas of, okay, we should respect the way that a person looks at apologizing to someone who did them wrong. Respect. Respect. I understand that. But you're not in that system. You're in a system, since we're talking about we can't get caught up in what we do or how we would do. We're in a system where we're known for apologizing to the oppressor. We're known for forgiving the oppressor. Members of Emmett Till's family said that they forgave the woman who on her deathbed 30, 40 years later said she made up the entire incident. Members of his own family, Emmett Till, who was thrown in a cotton gin with a barbed wire wrapped around his neck, tied to a fan, and thrown in the bottom of the Mississippi River, his family forgave the woman before they even knew that she lied and made up the entire event that led to this. See, that's easy for the people who are not in that grave to say that, oh, well, we got to forgive and heal. Do you know what that soul is dealing with? But I don't want to get on that. I want to discuss the psychological mind fuck that you niggas are under. I have to know. This ain't my opinion. This is not my opinion. I'm talking about through the annals of history. What group of people constantly forgives the motherfuckers that oppress them? Who? You name somebody in the annals of history. Name one group of people that constantly forgives the people that fucked them over for millennia. Who? Who? The Italians? Hell no. The Jews, look, Germany will never get the fuck over what they did to the Jews. Ever. We didn't even do anything to the so-called Jews. But let you say something bad about the Jews and see how every avenue in America gets cut off from you. So you can't say the Jews. The Chinese? Hell no. The Japanese? No. They still got a chip on their shoulder from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So who else forgives someone that walks in an apartment in the middle of the night while a man is just in there minding his business, shoots the man in his face, kills him or wherever he was shot at, kills him, and 3 to 4, 5, 6 months later, however long it's been, their brother is in the courtroom hugging this motherfucker in the same country that their ancestors have a history of ongoing oppression that has led on so long to their present day. Who the fuck, man? Look, man, from my understanding, the Holocaust was from 4 to 10 years at the most. Even if you want to say the Holocaust started before the Nazi Party and the stage was being set, that's 4 to 10 years at the most. Let's just say 1936 to 1946. Let's just say that. Even though I think World War II ended in 1945, I'm not sure. But let's just say 10 years. We have been going through chattel slavery, Jim Crow, the bus movement, the civil rights movement. We've been going through all of that shit for over 400 years. And you motherfuckers gonna tell me that it's not something psychosomatic going on with you when you're willing to forgive someone that's still beating your ass for 400 years. And you'll still even do deals with these people and say shit like you got a master plan. See, this is how people are able to do these deals, and this is how these celebrities are able to move around these people, because it's not like they become a celebrity and become a bitch. You niggas are bitches from birth, you bitches. From birth, you're bitches. From birth, you hoe ass niggas. That's what it is. From birth, you've been taught to fear white. You've been taught to go to school. You've been taught to become an integral part of the system that helps oppress you. So, of course, whenever you try to go against the system, you've been a part of the system so long, you are the system. You're just on the ball sack or the intestines of the system. You're a part of the body, but you're just the lowly throwaway pieces. So you get uncomfortable when it's time to go up against the system. So when you sit in that courtroom, and even though this white woman murdered your brother, even though you might be from an African country and you're first generation African coming over here, you've been taught so long since colonialism, through colonialism and apartheid and supremacy, you've been taught so long that that's right. You feel more sorry for her than you do your own fucking brother. Man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all real. I ain't trying to do no Dr. Umar shit. I ain't trying to do whoever. I'm not worried about none of that. Like, I'm really sincerely asking these questions because the shit is baffling. I did an entire video one day talking about the street niggas and this and that, and I wasn't trying to come off as offensive to nobody or be wrong with nobody or nothing like that. I really wasn't. And I brother, you know, you're a grown man. You're entitled to your opinion to disagree. But 400 years of getting your ass whooped, I don't know what the fuck you're disagreeing about. I don't know what you're disagreeing about. I don't know how you disagree in a country where I just told you Emmett Till's family did the same thing over 40 years ago. And it's still happening to this day. She murders a man in his apartment, gets 10 years. At the max, she gonna see 5 years with parole. If you know anything about the system, she probably gonna do 3. If you're disagreeing, brother, I'm not even saying it about you. It doesn't surprise me that a black person would fucking disagree. Nigga, Jay-Z straight up turned his back on everything in the culture, and all I saw up and down the timeline was a bunch of motherfuckers talking about wait and see what he does. So nothing surprises me when it comes to this argument. What would surprise me if all of us were in agreement that this was some bullshit. And this was some absolute bullshit. Bro, you're not honoring your brother by forgiving her. And if you want to be real, if you want to end this argument really quick, you can forgive somebody without ever opening your fucking mouth. He did not have to tell her shit to get healing in his own soul, to get over it in his own soul. Him verbally saying that to her at that moment did not make the forgiveness real. Because in order for something to be real, it has to be real within you before you ever even voice it. So he didn't do that shit to get forgiveness or to give forgiveness. He did that shit because, first off, like I said, we're psychologically programmed to do that shit. You got white people on that post saying, man, shit, I do notice that black people are always expected to forgive for the things that happen to them. White people are saying this shit. This is known. This is known. Forgiveness starts within. You ain't got to go over there and kiss nobody's ass to really forgive them. You can love a person without even saying the word. I hope when we see our brothers and sisters in Africa going through the hell that they're catching in certain countries and dealing with the poverty that they're dealing with, we never told them to their face that we love them, but we love them. And do you think it's a coincidence that the judge was hugging up on her? Do you think it was a coincidence that the bailiff was rubbing and playing in her hair? This was a show, man. This was a shit show. But my problem is, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful once again, because like I said, I'm trying to monitor my tone, because then I don't want anybody shutting me off. And I'm not talking about not listening to the videos, because that shit don't matter. But I mean, like, I don't want to offend where we can't learn. But with that being said, I can't tap dance and bullshit. The thing that is fucking concerning to me is, at what point as a people do we not need to be told this shit? Like, how many times you gotta get your ass whooped for you to feel this way? How many times? How many times you gotta get your ass whooped for you to feel this way? How many times are you gonna forgive? No other groups, Buki. They can't name another group. They can't name another group. I've asked people 10 minutes ago. There's no other group. And then I understand the propaganda that a lot of your black lecturers say, well, that just means we are loving and forgiving people. No, that just means you're the fucking shit of the earth, nigga. That's what that means. You're the fodder of the earth that everyone tramples on and shits on and kicks on, and all your street shit and all your hood shit is just training to kill each other. There's nothing else. That's all it means. That's all it means. It doesn't show that you're forgiving. It doesn't show that you have a good heart. It shows that you're a product of Stockholm syndrome. It shows that something psychologically and spiritually within you has been broken to the point you don't even know your own self-worth or the self-worth of your brother. Because like you said, Juan, maybe he needs to forgive her to move on with his life. So you can do that within you. Or even better, you can do that. You can go up there for a visitation. He can go up there on a visitation and say, I forgive you for what you did. I don't know why he needs to tell her that. I don't know why he needs to tell her that, but okay. And you're right. Everyone does have their way, their own way. But tell me the public African-American figure that something like this has happened to that didn't apologize. I'll wait. I'm waiting for you to respond now, Juan. You tell me. Tell me the public figure that this didn't happen to in the African-American community where niggas don't come and apologize. Or forgive. If any of y'all know, y'all let me know. So it's not about our own way. What I'm trying to explain to you, Juan, this is our way. Our way is known for being pussies and suckers that forgive everyone else for fucking us over. That's why we get fucked over. And then these verdicts come out and these police shootings happen or this happens and Colin Kaepernick can't get a job. And then we ask questions, oh, well, why is that happening? I know a lot of examples. The shooting in South Carolina, motherfuckers came out and forgave that man. Christians came out and forgave that man. Emmett Till forgave that man. Goddamn, this situation right here forgave that man. The only situation I know of where a black woman recently has stood up tall and didn't forgive shit was Eric Garner's mama. And the only reason I know that is because I met the sister in Selma. We're known for doing this. Black people say it all the time now, like it's something to be proud of. We just a forgiving people. You sound like a bunch of fucking cows on a farm headed to slaughter. You just see your homeboy go get his neck cut off in the slaughterhouse. We just a forgiving race of cows. I'm ready to be a steak on the plate. You can't be respected like this. You cannot be respected like this. Of course they won't forgive their own. Look, man, if this was a black brother that had walked in another black brother's house, that lady would have sent his ass off to jail and he would have been all kind of terrible ass niggas. Look, we're so psychosomatic. Watch this shit right here. Watch this shit right here. I need responses. Whoever's listening to this video, I need you to respond. Watch this shit. How many of y'all feel like R. Kelly is different? I mean, how many of y'all feel like R. Kelly is guilty? And I want the permission to take your responses, copy and paste them, and put them on my Facebook page. How many of y'all feel like R. Kelly is innocent? How many? I asked that question. I asked that question, and I saw the numbers drop. You saw that, Bookie? You saw that one? It went down to 3. How many of y'all feel like R. Kelly is innocent? Motherfuckers, hurry up and got the fuck out the chat box then, boy. Now, let's just deal with the facts. R. Kelly was tried for that sex tape with that underage young lady years ago, and R. Kelly was found not guilty. I'm old enough to remember R. Kelly was still considered guilty after being found not guilty until present day. Until the next case came up, he was still considered guilty. How many of y'all believe that OJ was innocent? I'll wait. I'm trying to show y'all something. How many? OJ was found not guilty in a jury of his peers in the court of law. He was found not guilty. OJ was still considered guilty. He was found not guilty. He was still considered guilty until they got him on another charge. And to this day, you still have people that say OJ was guilty. Majority of people feel like OJ was guilty. Michael Jackson. How many of y'all feel like Michael Jackson was innocent? Michael Jackson was found not guilty. And to this day, there's documentaries that are coming out that's saying the man was guilty. But you see how when it comes to people of color, especially African-American men, them niggas are guilty. No matter what they do, them niggas are guilty forever. They're guilty. There ain't no apology. There is no forgiving. There is no I love you. When they were stringing up Emmett Till and throwing him in that river, the family of the so-called victim didn't come over to Emmett Till and say, I forgive you and I'm sorry and I need to do this so I can get over it. They said, nigger, if you ever look at another white woman again, and they wrapped the cotton gin around that young boy's head and barbed wire, and they grabbed him and they threw his ass in the river. And the lady that accused him of doing it 40 years later on her deathbed said, I made it up. But when it comes to us, it's always this aura of guilt, even if we're not guilty. We are sick. We are suffering from a psychosis. This is a serious psychosis that we have. This is serious. This is serious. And the only thing that inflames the anger and the rage in me now is that we react to things weakly and we ask stupid ass questions like, man, why do they do this? And why do they keep letting this happen? And why do they only give her 10 years? Because they know you're not going to do nothing about it. They know you're not going to do anything to bring about real change. Oh, and why won't they give Colin Kaepernick a job? Let me see what you're saying, Juan. I gotta click more. Now, I agree with what you're saying, Juan, but I won't call it a super high standard. I think they just hold us, I apologize, they hold us to, you're not a fucking human. And we're gonna do what we wanna do to you. Because really, we're just pieces in a ritual to them. We're just pieces in a ritual to them. We're the lowly bottom feeders, and they can do with what they see fit, do with us whatever they see fit. So, publicly traded livestock. Exactly. And me and my brother Eastwood, we was able to get on a good accord when it came to that Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James thing. We finally got to a point where we on a good accord about it. And I was telling him I don't have a problem with Kawhi Leonard. I really don't. I'm not a fan of his game as a hooper, but I respect his grind and where he came from. But I told him it set a dangerous precedent by Kawhi breaking the... On face value, it looks like they're doing the same thing. But really, if you listen to NBA radio, if you watch NBA.com, NBA TV, the league is ecstatic. They wanted this kind of parity. They wanted twos because it spreads out their wealth throughout the league. That makes you a company man by default. And it's like, until we break this mindset of, let's have a real conversation. Do you ever feel yourself subconsciously treating white people better than you treat your own people? Just keep it real. Do you ever feel yourself protecting your goods, protecting your family more when you're around your own people? When someone comes in a store, do you automatically look at your own people as the potential people to steal? If you have, don't feel bad about it, because you're a victim of 400 years of colonialism and oppression and supremacy. So this is going to happen. But I'm telling you, all of this plays into the decisions of these professional athletes, the decisions of some of these people that are forgiving some of these people who just harm them. That's something they teach you about when you're learning about hypnosis and when you're learning about mind control. One of the things in mind control that is so powerful, they make the person whose mind is being controlled feel guilty about things that happen to them. That's a dangerous, deadly thing. When they make you feel bad about what they did to you. And it's become common practice. They expect, look, if you go down a lot of the comments on Twitter, I'm talking about the news comments that reported about, the incident that happened in the courtroom. First off, every official that was there said it's unprecedented. It's never happened before, where a judge keeps someone behind in a nationally syndicated trial, keeps them behind afterwards, and allows them moments to collect themselves, hugs them, talks to them. You mean to tell me if a black man in Dallas, Texas, would have walked in a room in an apartment of a white woman and shot her in the head, that he would have got 10 years? The victims of that family would have came over there and hugged him, and the white male judge would have came and hugged him and said, it's going to be all right, stay strong. And you're not as bad as what you did. You'll be out of here in a few years. Y'all telling me that would have happened? And if you can't say that wouldn't have happened with a clean conscience and you're defending this shit, something's wrong with you. And you might be a victim of this type of oppression. Yeah, it's serious. It's serious. Now I want to talk about one more thing. What kind of message does this send to the next generation? The same kind of message that whooping the strongest, tallest, most athletic, most durable slave would send. The same kind of message having sex with the leading woman of the slaves in front of everyone in the slave shack would send. The same kind of message castrating and going into anally the strongest slave in front of all the other slaves would send. It would mess up generations upon generations because an internal fear would seep in. But now they just got it on autopilot. They don't have to whoop you. They don't have to chain you. They don't have to put you on a plantation. They just make it publicly acceptable first, then publicly admired, then publicly suggested that this is how you should act if you're wronged by the system. Forgive. Come to Jesus and forgive. It's really sad. Anybody who is of African heritage, anybody who's human, should feel very sad tonight, should feel embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, and the person I'm most sad for is the brother that's laying in his coffin which is Arabic for his grave. Because we can say all of these eloquent things about forgiving and all this shit, but it ain't real until it's you. Like all these people with stuff to say about Nipsey Hussle and what he would have wanted and how it happened. None of y'all, including myself, was the person laying in the middle of that street with 10 holes inside of them, thinking you're about to lose everything you've ever worked for in a blink of an eye. Just like none of us, praise be to Allah, is the one that woke up in the middle of the night, going to get something to drink out your refrigerator, and some white racist bitch is standing across from you, shooting you. This is a woman that made the statement during the Martin Luther King parade when somebody asked her through text message, when is this shit gonna end? And she responded, when MLK gets killed. Oops, my bad. Eastwood is deeper than the church. Church and religion is always the fall guy. It's deeper than the church. Look, Jay-Z and Beyonce ain't bit more in the church than a man on the moon, but you would be hard-pressed to find bigger coons than them. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It started off with a idolization of white Jesus. That was the entry piece. Now it's like Jesus walked, Cesare Borgia, the image that they portrayed of Jesus, walked off of the picture and became the white male in America for the last 100 years. So it became a worshiping of white men. It became a worshiping of white idolization. Then it became a worshiping of white success. Then it became a worshiping of the materialism's gain from being white. Yeah, we are. I'm telling you, a lot of the things that I asked y'all brothers, if y'all went through, I've been through myself. I've looked at my own people this kind of way before. I've had reservations. I've said certain things that I wish I could take back and I regret saying to other brothers. I've been a victim of this same supremacy that I'm talking about. Yeah. You're absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. And like I said, I'm not even questioning the brothers. I'm not questioning the brother's decision to forgive her. If he chooses to do so, then that's on him. But in the public sphere, that is fucking, first off, is reckless. To me, it seems scripted and staged because first off, why is he hugging her? Why is the bailiff rubbing her hair? And why is the judge doing the same thing? To me, this seems like somebody who's a power that be got together with a bunch of people, threw somebody a bag, and it played out the way that it played. Because now it excuses her early release. Because how can you be upset about her early release when her brother already forgave her? The representative of the family already forgave her. And I guarantee you, any family member that didn't agree with what the brother did today, you're not going to see them on TV. You're not going to see them in the courtroom. You know, it is what it is, man. Yeah, someone got to them. Someone got to them. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. This is a random thought. Have y'all noticed a difference in Cam Newton in the last 4 or 5 years since that Super Bowl? Have y'all noticed a difference in Cam Newton? Has anybody? Before the Super Bowl, Cam Newton was swagged out. Cam Newton was all strong. Cam Newton had the Black Panther shirts, Black Panther hoodie and all of that. Cam Newton was, you know, a representation of black masculinity. After that Super Bowl, Cam Newton up here wearing women's scarves, quiet, docile, unthreatening. Me personally, I said it the whole time. When I saw the matchup, the Black Panther against the White Horse, I said it. I made a video about this back then. I said there's no way in the fuck the Carolina Panthers are going to win this Super Bowl. And there's a play at the end of that Super Bowl, if you go back and look, where Cam Newton gets strip sacked and the ball falls to the ground. Cam doesn't even die for it. Because before that Super Bowl, I firmly believe they threatened Cam, or they offered to pay him a large lump sum of money to throw that game. I personally believe that. Because they understand more than we do. And I think we don't understand it because we're still a young, new people. They understand the importance of imagery. They understand the importance of imagery. They understand the importance of mass media. And we don't understand that. They understand that the politics of politics is to control the court of public opinion. And if you put on a spectacle in a climate where people are sensitive about police shootings, you put on a spectacle where a black man is forgiving a white officer for killing his brother, it neutralizes the protest. Because now on Fox News, whenever someone comes to speak up for the man that was slain, they can always throw up, well, the brother forgave him. How can't you forgive him? This sets a very dangerous precedent. But the deeper issue is why African Americans or Africans or Moors or whatever the hell you call yourself, why are you known for being the softest, pussiest pieces of shit on the planet? And at what point is enough enough? At what point is it not okay to apologize, to accept an apology and to forgive? At what point is too much too much? Does it ever reach the point? I don't know. But like I said, I'm saddened, I'm disheartened, and y'all let me know what you think. Share the video, like the video. This has been one of the most horrible displays of white supremacy that I've ever seen in my life, and I personally feel like this was all a staged event. I'm not talking about the murder. I'm pretty sure that brother was murdered. But I'm talking about as far as the trial. They've already got an agreement with this lady. She's not doing no more than 3 to 5 years. She's not. And I respect what you're saying. But if you want peace and your enemy constantly brings upon you war, then you've been broken into a state of being a pussy. You can't get peace from somebody who wants war. And I feel like that's what's wrong with the African American community. I think we do want peace. We don't want the strife. But that's like the bully that's just punching you, and you telling him to stop. I want peace. He's thinking the more you say you want peace, it empowers me and makes me want to hit you. Because you're dealing with psychopaths and sociopaths. So just because we want peace and we're fighting against a war machine, that doesn't mean anything. It just proves the point of how psychologically fucked up we are. The thing that they dangle over us more than anything in this day and age is you're going to lose something. If you do this, you're going to lose something. You're going to lose something. You're going to lose something. And if you look at the wealth on average for African Americans, we don't own shit. We don't have nothing. So when you can dangle to a slave that you're going to lose some shit and they don't have shit, buddy, you're fucked up. You're psychologically fucked. You won't say it, but I will.